Okay, today we're playing a game on Watchpoint Gibraltar. The average SR of this game was 2,196, and we will be playing Moira the entire way through. And our current team composition is Orisa, Roadhog, Bastion, Reaper, Moira, and Mercy. So it's not exactly what I'd consider to be ideal, because it's a lot harder to get this kind of comp moving on Gibraltar compared to Junkertown, because unlike Junkertown, the defending team actually has decent places to stand on Gibraltar. And there tends to be a lot of aggression right on the payload at the start of the game on Gibraltar, which is not as true for Junkertown, because the defending team starts from a relatively, secure position for a payload map. So, doesn't tend to work so well here. Also, don't find that Reaper tends to be very good on Gibraltar, because it tends to be hard for him to actually get into a position that's actually helpful for him to be in. So, not what I'd consider to be ideal. But it goes a lot better than expected, because we actually get somewhere, as opposed to nowhere. So we're all trying to come out up here, except for Orisa and Bastion, who are underneath us right now. Our team's, afraid to come out right now, and Bastion and Orisa are trying to get out, but kinda not really getting very far down there either. So we got rezzed after being picked off by Hanzo, you know, it happens. Roadhog's looking, right at us, and we still kind of just wait around to get hooked by him, really. We're on the console today, by the way, the PS4. Good job, me. So, we kind of just hung around and got hooked by him, rather than backing up. Also, don't really want to come out of the invulnerability in front of the enemy team, usually. So we shouldn't fade forward right here, because the entire enemy team is hovering in this location right now. Should they be in this location? No, but they are here. And Moira is really easy to kill if you get caught while Fade is on cooldown, because she's real squishy. So if you don't have Fade, you're real easy to kill. No need to throw the damage orb right here. In general, try to avoid throwing your orbs so that they're going to bounce off the ground, because once it bounces off the ground, it's going to start going up into the sky, and that's the point where the orb won't do anything. But the Zarya is fucking dead. You don't need to use the damage orb on her. You'd be better off throwing it at, the soldier back there right now, or just over off into the enemy team to build some ult charge. Don't really need to hold the healing beam over the Orisa right now, because she's actually not that hurt right now. She's not getting shot at, except by Junkrat, but the shield's in the way. And she's being healed by the payload, so you can kind of just let spritz her and let the healing over time effect take care of it. You don't really want to hold the healing beam over somebody unless they're, actively fighting at that time. You usually want to just be letting the healing over time take care of it as much as possible. Again, didn't need to throw the damage orb at that boy either, because he's gonna fucking die. He wasn't allowed to do that. So the damage orbs we've thrown out haven't really been terribly helpful so far. And realistically, we should, have our ultimate by now, because our Coalescence charges really fast, and our orbs have not really done very much of anything, so we haven't been getting any ult charge off of them. Roadhog just dropped down behind us, but we didn't seem to notice that was happening. Again, no need, didn't need to throw it at this boy in general, because he's running at 6 people right now, but also throwing it at him in that angle is just going to have it say a lot, because he's, walking towards the payload. We throw it off into the ditch, he's just going to walk past it, and it's not going to actually do that much damage to him. Soldier's behind us right now, using Tac Visor. He shouldn't be doing that. He's dead now, and he's wasted his ultimate, so that was a very efficient use of company resources, I'd say. And, yeah, so the enemy team aren't very good, is what I'm kind of taking away from the game so far. I don't know if that's, coming across or anything, but, they've been performing illegal maneuvers this entire time. So we've been hanging out over here because Junkrat was using his ultimate. We're just going to use Coalescence right now. It's a bit of an extreme reaction, because we basically seem to just be using it because of D.Va. And the goal with Coalescence is to use it so that you're healing somebody, you're healing your team and doing damage at the same time. It's a support ultimate, and although it has a damaging component, but it is a support ultimate, people tend to forget that it has a healing component. You want to use it so that you're actually hitting as much of your team and the enemy team as possible. You don't really just want to be fuck this D.Va. Now, that being said, it's actually pretty easy to kill Mercy who's using Valkyrie with Coalescence, because the beam's fucking fat. So it's not actually that hard to kill a Mercy and Valkyrie with it. But anything else, not so much. You don't really want to just use it for that. So 3 people just died. Yeah, that push ain't gonna happen anymore. Now our team are off over there, trying their absolute hardest to be staggered. As you do, you know how it is. We should be going over to heal the Reaper, because the Reaper's actually, like, leaving the hangar right now, and he's not dead. So we should be going over there to heal him, but, like, he's, like, walking behind us right now at, like, 3 health, probably, and we just kinda didn't do anything about that, so should have healed that boy as he was coming out of the hangar. Because we could tell from the silhouette he was actually gonna get out of the hangar. So now they're coming up to fight us in the doorways, which is not typically allowed either, and, you know, we should be, like, if in this kind of situation you're better off healing the Orisa, because you really don't want the Orisa to die, and Roadhog's gonna kill Orisa pretty quickly. You as Moira don't actually do that much damage, you only do 50 damage per second on your right-click, so you holding right-click on Roadhog doesn't really do much. But you holding left-click on Orisa, it can very easily save her from dying, and that's a bigger deal than you doing, like, a little bit extra chip damage to the Roadhog. So, anyway, they've not been allowed to do any of what they've been doing so far, and they're beginning to get punished for it now. We've got Coalescence again. We've just lost Mercy, but it's alright, they've lost their entire team. Soldier's using Tac Visor, so we're getting the fuck out of there. Soldier, maybe if he used it when he wasn't 1v6 for once, he might actually get somewhere. So this is, again, a very extreme reaction to use Coalescence right here, because not that much is really happening right now. You can just hold left-click over these people and heal them, like, and it's only D.Va, like, not that much is actually happening, so we end up using the Coalescence for not very much other than, like, I mean, I guess it heals everybody, but your left-click can do that, and, like, didn't need the extra damage from Coalescence to kill the D.Va. There we go, that's the hero's name. So, Reaper's spinning behind us right now, but it's okay, we've managed to get away from him. It didn't exactly get very much done. Like, they're really bad, okay? Look, what do you want from me? They're bad. Look at them. Look at them being bad. Okay? This is the Overwatch, you know, it's not about which team is better, it's about which team is less bad. We're less bad than them. Like, look at them. Look at them. Look at them, though. They're just, like, trying to fight over the objective that they just lost right now. Soldier thinks that they still have the second spawn or some shit. Like, he's over there behind us right now in the hangar. He's probably still there, because nobody's actually killed him yet, so he's playing a real long con right now. I wouldn't be surprised to come out of this corner and just find Soldier, like, crouched in this corner, like, Mercy's gonna get so pranked when she comes out of this door. Miraculously, that's actually not what happened. He is shooting at us from behind right now, because, it looked like some of those bullets came at us from behind. Yeah, Soldier's behind us right now, like, on the high ground. It's alright, I'm content to leave him behind, you know? Like, we're killing his whole team over here, but we should know that Soldier is still behind us. And, we're kind of just ignoring him. I mean, he's not doing very much, so I understand, but we do want to, you know, remember that he's still there. Like, you know, he's there. He still hasn't died. There we go, he's finally died. Okay, so he's no longer behind us, but he was there a long-ass time. So we shouldn't be going forward right now. We should actually just, like, wait, fade over to the large health kit, go get that, and come back over here, instead of walking over into the fight. Don't need to use the healing orb. You want to avoid using the healing orb as much as possible, because the healing orb is really bad. Yeah, we want to just use the damage orb. At this point, we're being healed by Mercy. We could have also just gone and got the large health kit out of the closet, rather than use the healing orb on ourselves. You really don't want to use it. Like, we can go pick up the large health kit right there, rather than come back over here again. Because, you know, like, you don't want to come back up to the fight while you're, like, half health-ish, because that's the point where you can just get unexpectedly one-shotted. Which we would rather avoid, you know. So Soldier's using Tac Visor over there. He didn't really get much of anything done with it, and Mercy's alive, so we're alive again now, and Bastion's alive again. So, yeah, great job, team. But they're really bad, okay? Look, they're really bad. Our team's really bad, but, like, look at them, right? Like, Soldier can't figure out where the door is, right? Like, he's getting caught up on everything. We're just gonna use Coalescence. Might as well. We're about to win the round, so... Smoke them if you've got them, right? So we're just gonna... Look. You can probably tell roughly how this game's gonna go. Also, there isn't very much time left on this video. You know, we've still got a minute left. We haven't got, like, yeah, we trade back and forth a couple of times time left at this point. Look, they're really bad, okay? So I would expect them to come at us with a Bastion after that one, because if your team wins with some kind of cheesy comp, you can expect that the next team is going to attempt to do the exact same thing. So, they actually aren't, though. So, that's me shown, I suppose. So our team are performing an illegal maneuver. We're also performing an illegal maneuver because we don't want to be this far up right now. And, you know, if your team's too far up, that's going to kind of force you to be too far up by extension. But, we don't want to be, like, going up to their spawn. Like, we don't want to be here. Like, this is too much. Also, throwing our damage orb up there, I wouldn't expect to get that much done, because, like, people are probably not hanging out on that balcony at this point. Very weird scuffle breaking out, and, like, none of this should be happening. It was very upsetting that we aren't all dead, frankly. Like, they weren't allowed to do this. We aren't really allowed to be doing this either. It's just we're not getting punished for it right now. And if you don't get punished, you don't have to learn, is how I like to look at my life. But, we shouldn't be doing this, really, like, at all. Like, this is all actually terrible. But, we're getting away with it, I suppose. So, they're, showing no inclination of getting any better anytime soon. That wasn't a very good use of, Coalescence either, because nothing was really happening. We're just kind of standing out outside their spawn. They just kind of all went back in their spawn, and, not very much happened. It's all very bad. We shouldn't be doing any of what we're doing. We definitely shouldn't be coming in here to scuffle with this boy. Because, we're coming in here to fight a Junkrat in a confined location as Moira. Junkrat's just like, free money right here. And that's what we were. We were free money right there. It's alright. They haven't gotten any better at the video game. So, even though, like, all that shit's happened, it didn't matter. No need to use the healing orb right here, because you can just hold left click over Mercy instead. Like, the healing orb, here's the thing with the damage orb and the healing orb, right? So the damage orb does 200 damage, right? And it does, 50 damage per second, 200 damage. Once it does the 200 damage, it's gone. The healing orb does 300 healing, 75 health per second. The thing is that the healing orb is really difficult to get the full value out of, because unless a lot of your team are very close together and all wounded, the healing orb tends to just float off without having actually used up most of it. Like, you're lucky if you get half the charge out of the healing orb, because if you're using the healing orb, you're also probably holding left click over them. The left click is usually enough. The healing orb tends to be overkill. Unless a lot of people are bunched up and very hurt, the healing orb tends to just, like, drift off and not do its full healing. And you can usually just hold left click over somebody. That's usually enough. The healing orb tends to be unnecessary. The damage orb is very easy to get the 200 damage out of. You just throw it into the enemy team and you're going to get the 200 damage out of it. It's very easy. Maybe it bounces once, and, like, you're going to get the full value out of it if you just throw it into the enemy team. And the idea is that the damage orb is part of the reason you get to build up so much ult charge, because it's just like every 10 seconds you throw it into the enemy team, it gets you 10% ult charge, because 200 damage is 10% ult charge for Moira. So you just throw it in on cooldown, get 10% ult charge, plus the healing that you're doing and the damage you're doing. You just right click and you build up a lot of fucking ult charge really fucking quickly. It's just really easy to get the full value out of the damage orb. It's very hard to get the full value out of the healing orb, and that's why the healing orb is bad. It is only helpful, like, if you're dueling somebody, you can bounce it off the walls, and, like, it becomes difficult to kill you if you're dueling them, because you're also draining them. With the healing orb, and because it's 75 health off the healing orb, plus 33 from you draining them, over 100 health per second you're healing while you're dueling somebody, they aren't going to kill you unless they're really good. So, that's, like, the good use for the healing orb. If a bunch of people are really hurt and really close together, like, sometimes throwing the healing orb into, like, the graviton and then using coalescence is enough healing to get them through the graviton that they're stuck in. That kind of thing, sometimes, you know. And, like, if somebody far away is hurt, the healing orb travels faster than you, so you can chuck it at them to try and save them. But that's kind of it. You don't want to use the healing orb unless you absolutely have to, and usually it's for self-preservation. Very important, if you're using it because you're dueling somebody, don't throw it at the floor. Ana players really get fucked up by this, because your knee-jerk reaction is throw a grenade at floor. If you throw the healing orb at the floor, just boom, woo, goes off into the sky and stops healing you. You want it to bounce off the walls, and then you can go back and forth with it. So, like, the damage orb is really good. The healing orb is really bad. You don't want to use the healing orb unless you absolutely have to. So, we've gotten back over here now, and, yeah, it's all going great. We've thrown the damage orb too early in this case, because the entire enemy team are dead, so the damage orb is just going to bounce off and not really do anything, because there's nobody there to actually get damaged by it. So he was using Dragon Blade, by the way, and dashed straight onto the trap, so, you know, that's very happy for Genji. He's probably having a great time right now. He's definitely not tilted or anything. No need to use the healing orb, because what's it gonna do? The healing orb is definitely not gonna save you from a tire exploding on top of you, so that orb just does nothing. Junkrat's currently, like, going fucking in right now, and I mean, you know, like, he might as well, because, like, it's not going very well for them right now. So they just all died. So, that's not gonna be going very well for them in the near future either. We've got Coalescence, that's cool. They're probably gonna get, like, one more team fight at this point, like, you know, well, I mean, we're right outside their spawn. They might get two more, who knows, depends how quickly they die. We're just gonna use Coalescence right now. They are all starting to collect over there, we just use it. I mean, honestly, might as well. They're all there, they're clearly not very good, we might as well just bash them in, you know. Healing Orb, no need to use that, because you can just hold left-click over the soldier. It ends up just not really doing very much. You probably healed like 50 health, and that was it. Could've just thrown a damage orb, and been getting more ult charge during this time and holding left-click over the soldier. Blah, 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 blah. Roadhog shouldn't be doing this, he's not getting punished for it. They're using a lot of ultimates, but what are they gonna do, right? Like, they're bad. What are they gonna do? Haven't thrown our orb. Our orb's been off cooldown, like, this entire fight now, and we could have thrown the damage orb in here to be doing damage. Like, we could have, like, by the time we threw that damage orb, we could have thrown, like, we could have had another damage orb do 200 damage during that time right there. So they're dead again. Here's McCree. We know McCree was there. You want to be careful going by people who have hard crowd control when you're using Coalescence, because you don't want to get Coalescence interrupted. Shocking development. You don't want your ultimate to get interrupted if you can avoid it. So they were really bad. Like, really, really bad. But there was still, actually, a surprising amount to say, because we won, and it wasn't very close, but it still ended up being a fairly long game, so, yeah, so unsurprisingly, this is the play of the game. Didn't use an emote, just stood there like a lemon the entire time, very poor. F- see me after class. So, thing that stands out the most in this game, basically, like, a lot of efficiency stuff, mostly with the orbs. The orbs are a very important part of playing Moira, because the damage orb is, like, the thing that gets you Coalescence very quickly, and, like, that's, like, how you win games as Moira, is you use your ultimate a fucking lot. So you have to actually charge it quickly, and a lot of that comes down to being efficient with the orbs. We aren't very efficient with the orbs. We aren't very efficient with our resource either. It doesn't really come up that much in this game because it was, like, really easy, but we weren't super resource efficient either. And then there's some going forward too aggressively when, like, low health, or fading forward too aggressively, stuff like that. The orbs is the big one, though. So, thank you very much for watching if you did. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer, and I hope you found the video helpful.